Hi and welcome to another episode of Toby's Barbecue Corner. Have you ever wondered what they ate back in the Wild Wild West in those saloons? Or let me ask you this, have you ever watched a Bud Spencer and Terence Hill movie? Today we're going to be making a baked bean and bacon pot. Now what you need for it and how to do it, I'm going to show you in this episode. And this is what we're going to be cooking in the Dutch oven. So obviously we need bacon and lots of it. You need some olive oil, some tomato paste, you need some onions, you need some garlic, some thyme. You can use some extra like salami type sausages. So these are called Kabanossi. You need some paprika powder, you need some chili powder, some caraway seeds. You obviously need beans, and I like to use kidney beans as well as baked beans. You need some tomatoes in a can. Some pepper. You don't need salt because the bacon is already quite salty. And then for that extra kick, and I mean, you know, what is the Wild West without some good old Tennessee whiskey? So we're going to pour some into that as well and yeah, light it on fire. So very quickly, there's only like really 3 things to prepare. So you can take your additional salami, Kabanossi, whatever you want to use. And because it is quite a rustic kind of dish, there's no need to go particularly fine on them. You can leave it quite coarse. So you halve the sausages, you quarter them, and you cut them into kind of like these chunks, and that'll do it already for the sausage. And then for your onions, again, you don't have to go particularly fine on it. If you have 1 or 2 large onions instead of these smaller ones, that's totally fine too. Just skin them. And that already does it. So again, as I said, no need to go overly fine on them. It is quite a rustic dish, and obviously they were rustic times back then, so to speak. So I'm going to cut up the rest of the sausages, the other onions, as well as the garlic. The garlic I'm going to chop very coarse as well. And then it's already time to see you outside with the Dutch oven. Right, the Dutch oven is nice and hot. So what we're going to do first is we're going to put our bacon in. Give that a good sear. Let all that lovely juicy fat come out. Because remember, you know, back in the days they needed all the protein and all the fat they can get when they were out in the Wild West, riding, fighting off bears and bison and whatever else. So we're going to let that cook for a little while. Make sure we get some good color. I'm using my size 9 Dutch oven, sorry, my size 6. Normally you can do it in a large cast iron skillet as well. I don't have a skillet that size where all these ingredients will fit in, so not to worry about it. But obviously we're cooking outside in my Artago, you know, trying to keep it as traditional as we can. And I'm using a total of 9 briquettes underneath to really give it the beans, so to speak. Haha, no pun intended. The bacon is starting to render, so we're going to throw in our Kabanossi. You can use Chorizo as well if you want, whatever else of kind of like a salami type sausage you're looking for. And we're going to let that come up to temperature as well. Now obviously, as it is rather cold today, we have to give the Dutch oven a little bit of time to recover the heat that was initially there. So it might take a minute or 2 longer than you would usually cook it at when you're cooking during the summertime. A couple of minutes later, in with the onions and the garlic. And then we're going to put in, I'm going to create a little bit of space right here in the center. There we go. And we're going to put in the tomato paste. Maybe a little more. You know, we obviously want as much flavor as we can get. And we're going to let that sit in there for a little while. get some heat on that as well. And you know, the funny thing about these saloons in the Wild West was it was very, very different what you could get, you know. In some of these saloons you only got a sandwich, others actually had French chefs with French style cuisine, you know, you were served duck and all sorts of stuff. But usually whatever was available kind of like off the land, that was what they used. So I think, you know, a little bit of bacon, some sausage, onions, etc. This is what they usually had. And also what I love about this dish is the onions are really soaking up all the fat now. And now we're going to put in our whiskey. Let's see if we can actually light it on fire. There we go. I don't know if you can see it, but burns lovely. So that's going to give a ton of flavor as well. Maybe we'll even put in a secondary shot glass. Or maybe I'll just drink the shot glass. You never know. Anyways, so this is absolutely lovely. So we're going to let that burn off. And obviously that will add a ton of flavor to it as well. Well, so I decided to stay with one shot glass. I think that was enough. Plus we have our kids eating along as well. Even though the alcohol burns off, but I don't want to spoil their taste buds. So we're going to put in the diced and canned tomatoes, and then with it we can already put in the seasoning that I had pre-measured. So it's not a whole lot, but it packs quite a punch. And as I usually say, you know, you can always put more in, you can hardly take out. So give that a bit of a stir, make sure we have even distribution, so to speak, and I'm going to let that simmer for a little while until we put in the beans. A couple of minutes later we're ready for the beans, and now what I've done is with the baked beans, the majority of them are washed, so I only kept one can with the actual baked bean sauce that they come in, so to speak, alive, simply because I don't like it that much. I find it's too much sugar and everything else, so I prefer to have the raw beans, so to speak. So that's what we're going to put in there now. And then obviously our kidney beans as well. And now we're going to let all of that come up to temperature, about maybe 10 minutes or so. You know, make sure everything is nicely mixed. And then we're going to give it a taste test. And we're going to see if we need any more seasoning, etc. So that already looks great. Let me tell you guys, obviously the smell of bacon and onions and garlic, etc. is absolutely fantastic. And you know, you don't want it too liquidy, but what we're going to do is we're going to put in a little bit of olive oil on the top. I think it just adds a lovely flavor to it when all of that cooks down. Alright, so we're going to let that cook for about 10 minutes, and we're going to stir it occasionally. 8 minutes are up. Let's have a quick look. Aha, it's starting to nicely bubble away. And obviously with the temperature I decided to close the lid to make sure that the temperature really stays in the pot. But I think that's looking already great. So in true Wild West style, let's have a quick taste and see if we need any more seasoning. Yeah, I mean, we're on a good way, but I think it still calls for a little bit more pepper, paprika, and all the other lovely seasonings. But the beans are on a good way, so we're going to cook that in for another 5 minutes, have another look, and then we should be done. So, quickly going to do that. While we're doing this, I'm just heating up a little bit of bread, because as in the movie with Bud Spencer and Terence Hill, the left and the right hand of the devil, just in case anybody ever wonders what to watch. That's what they eat it with, a nice big piece of bread. And then they dig in, and I can't wait to dig in later on as well. So, I'll see you inside when we lift the lid for the final time. And there we go, guys, our Wild Wild West saloon style baked beans and bacon dish with a little bit of freshly baked bread and, you know, what obviously goes well, then some Tennessee whiskey with a Western style dish. So we're gonna dig in now. So, howdy boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed the video about our Wild Wild West saloon style one pot dish. It was mega delicious, the kids loved it. I think, you know, giving that little bit of a flambeing sensation, so to speak, with the Tennessee whiskey that we burned, it really worked out. The bread fit awesome to it. If you want to watch a good movie, as I said, watch the Bud Spencer and Terence Hill movies. I think they're absolutely hilarious, they're fantastic, and this is what I grew up with. So, if you did enjoy the video, I would appreciate a comment and a thumbs up. Please head over to that subscribe button for more great videos to come, and I hope to see you soon again at Toby's BBQ Corner.